All right, everybody. We are live. I'm Bobby Burton, joined by Jerry Hamilton and CJ Vogel, all of On Texas Football. We're here to cover the announcement of Jonah Williams, defensive back, Galveston Ball High School. Jerry is down in Galveston this evening, getting ready for it all. CJ and I here trying to talk to you guys a bit. Jerry, tell us what the weather's like in Galveston today. It looks a little breezy out there.
Hot and windy. So the shades are on top of the head, so the eyes will get sunburned. But here we are. They just redid. This is Corville Stadium. They just redid the stadium a little bit. You can see there's the setup for Jonah's announcement right there. So we'll be covering that today. But last Galveston ball player to commit to Texas, was it Casey Hampton, Bobby? Are we going back to '96?
I think it was. I tried to go back and think about it, and I don't know of another commitment from Ball High since then. Hey, Jerry, as a special guest,
Yes.
we actually want to bring in a special guest real quick, and that's a young man that is a defensive back in his own right, and he made a whale of an interception over the weekend. Caleb Chester, how you doing, Caleb?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Good for you, man. Hey, how are things going? I know y'all played. I think it was Elkins that you had a scrimmage against on Thursday. Is that right?
Sir.
How did things go for you there?
It was great. It was great. It was nice to play against them. So it was a good crowd.
Good stuff. CJ, if you don't mind, do us a favor and roll that clip of young Caleb's interception. What in the world were you doing here, big guy?
So
That's awesome.
yeah, kind of like a video game kind of clip, I guess you could say. But yeah, so we was in cover 4, and I knew the receiver wasn't faster than me. So you got to know your pros and cons and what you can and can't do. So I kind of slowed down my back pedal because I knew he couldn't run by me. And so he was running when he took off. He was running kind of slow. Like I could tell he wasn't trying to run a post or a go because like he wasn't trying to run by me. So I kind of like slowed down my pedal. And the moment he broke down, I'm looking at him because our coach always say don't break unless the ball's thrown. So while he stopped, I'm looking at him. I'm like, if the QB throw this, I'm gonna get it. So the QB like lobbed it up, but he threw it too high for me to just so I tried to like Odell it, but I missed it. So I tipped the ball up and then I turned around and I thought the kid was about to grab it, and the ball is like this much away from the floor. And I tipped it like this, and I went and grabbed the tip and took it back for 6.
And the only reason I actually asked Caleb, the only reason they blew it dead was because it was a scrimmage. If that would have been next Thursday night against my friends with Mustangs, Caleb, that's where I went to high school, that would be a pick 6 touchdown. Take it easy on the Mustangs, by the way. No, just do your thing.
CJ, what did you think of that play, buddy? And welcome to live here.
A ridiculous amount of concentration and hand-eye coordination there, Caleb. I liked what you said there. You knew he wasn't faster than you. When we had you on a stream earlier, I know that you and Rod Babers got to talk about the defensive mindset of being a cornerback. How much preparation do you have in the week leading up to a scrimmage or a real game, and just knowing the opponent's personnel at wide receivers, knowing their strengths, are they fast? Are they quick? Are they big? How often are you in the lab or the film room kind of figuring out what those tendencies are for your opponents coming up each week?
We have a lot of time, actually. We meet and have lifts and meetings every Saturday. So Saturdays when we get the first look at the school. And so from that point on, our coach, he'll usually just tell me receiver 1, you following receiver 1. So I'll go back. I'll go on Google. I'll go to their tape, their mixtapes, their Instagram. I'll try to find out every tendency about you. So the way you put your toe up, which foot you put up, when your hands, how much you sweat, like all type of stuff. So I watch a lot of film. I like to make sure I know how fast you are, how shifty you are, how strong your hands, like all type of stuff. So I know how I can play you, how I should play you, my advantages, and things of that nature. So.
Will you follow the top wide receiver on opponents? Are you playing one side of the field? How's that kind of going for you this defensive season coming up?
Mainly, if they don't have a lot of like weapons, if our coach doesn't think they have a lot of weapons, need be for me to do that, then I will just play sides. But majority of the time, my coach will just tell me like a number like so and so, number 7, the best guy they got. You follow him the whole game, and it'll just play like that.
Hey,
That's good
Caleb,
stuff.
in the chat, they're calling you student of the game. And when you have talent level, you do, being a student of the game is what's a differentiator. When did you really start taking the film room and studying your opponents seriously? Have you always done it? Is it something that you've kind of said, okay, if I want to take my game to the next level, I've got to become that guy? When did that process begin for you?
I'll probably say my sophomore year or really kind of my junior year, because at first I was kind of just playing off raw talent, like, couldn't nobody mess with me type of thing in my head until we played PNG. We played PNG week 4 my sophomore year. It was a rough game for me. I gave up about 2 tuds. So after that, I was like, I got to get in the film room. My brother was just telling me, like, you got to start doing certain things. You can't just play off raw talent no more. Like, you playing big boy ball now. So ever since that moment, I've been heavy on reading tendencies and things of that nature.
Speaking with Caleb Chester, defensive back out of Fort Bend's Marshall High School, committed to the University of Texas. Caleb, got to ask you, we're here live right now, waiting on the decision of Jonah Williams, defensive back out of Galveston's Ball High School. What have you heard? Have you talked to Jonah at all before? You know much about him? Has he been a guy that y'all haven't talked much? What's going on there?
Yes, sir. That's my guy. The other day, I told him, "Don't break my heart, man." I told him, "Don't break my heart." So it seemed, I think we're gonna get him. I think we're Jonah, a great player, and I'll be a great dude I love to play with and just have on my back. And he can do a whole lot of things, and will make a whole lot of things easier too. At that, big guy, physical guy, long guy, range of motion, smart. He can play the deep ball. He can come hit somebody. He could come off the edge if you needed him to. At that, he's so big. So I really love to play with Jonah. I think we can get him. I think we will get him. Yeah, I've been hitting his line. I've been trying to do all I can to get him. So
have y'all played Galveston Ball, Caleb? Have y'all gone up against them? I didn't know if y'all went up against them in the playoffs or not. Okay. So Caleb, I got to ask you. We saw your interception. Your teammate Isaiah Williams, one of the best 2026 safeties in the country.
He best.
What have you seen from his game this year? Where has he improved? Because I know you study your teammates as well. Where do you think he's improved from sophomore to junior year? Because that's the big jump year for you guys.
So far, Isaiah, he hasn't played in either scrimmage because he had his quad was a little sprained, but he's coming back this week for week 1. But so far, I think Isaiah, his IQ has gotten way better. Like last year, he would just fly around the field and just plays. Like he would make a play in the spot of the field he's not even supposed to be in. But now I think he's really fixed up his IQ and his just knowledge of the game and just understanding things and reading keys. So I'll probably say that's his biggest upgrade from last season.
Where have you improved the most?
I'll probably say physicality. Last season, I can't lie, I didn't really come down and make that much tackles or hit as much as I needed to. But so far this year in scrimmage, I really wanted to make a mark and let it know if you come, I'll hit you now. Like, it's a new year, it's a new me. So in our first scrimmage, a guy came to my side, hit him, forced fumble. This scrimmage, they try to throw a screen pass my way. I hit him back for a tackle for loss. So I'm coming this season. I'm hitting everybody that come my way.
So you guys play Thursday. So will you be at the Texas opener Saturday?
You said what?
Are you going to be at the Texas season opener Saturday since y'all play Thursday?
I'm not sure, but most likely though.
Okay. If you go to that game, what will you be specifically watching?
Really just how the DB look in the back end, just look as a whole, how they getting coached up, how they reacting to coach. I'm talking to Coach Joseph a lot and just asking him how things going, how preparation going for them for the week ahead and stuff like that. So that'll probably be the main factors I'll be paying attention to.
I was going to ask you in the sense of with college football starting back up today officially, right? They had the game over in Ireland. They had some more games this evening, but more so next week, you'll start to see week 1 starting everywhere. How much of a college football fan are you? I know that Saturdays might be a little tricky with film and weights in the morning for you, but do you sit down and watch as many games as you can? Or are you a guy that maybe Saturdays are just to get outside and hang out? What do you like about the college football season entirely?
If I'm being real, I don't watch sports at all. Like off the field, like away from the field, I kind of like to step away from the field. I'm kind of like a nerd at the end of the day. Like I'm playing the game. I was playing the game right before I got so in my free time, this is all I do, and I just chill. I don't really watch too much sports if I'm being real. But if I know somebody on the team or the Longhorns playing, then I'll watch it. But besides that, not.
Caleb, I got to tell you, I'm sitting here looking up. I was trying to find out. I was watching it earlier. Does anybody know if the Texas Little League team won or lost today against Florida? They were winning when I turned it off. I had to go do something this afternoon. Let me see. Texas loses to Florida in Little League U.S. Championship. They were up 4-2 when I turned it off this afternoon. Caleb, Florida State lost to Georgia Tech this afternoon in Ireland. I tell you what, one of the things we talked about, Jerry and CJ, DJ Uiagalelei, the quarterback for Florida State, he has a really long throwing motion. How does that sort of thing affect a defensive back? I mean, are you able to get there quicker because of? Do you break on the ball faster? What does that long throwing motion mean to a defensive back?
Oh yes, sir. Most definitely. Like it really your throwing motion, it sets up my alignment. For example, like say you on the back, say I'm on the back side, you on the other hash across from me. Certain routes, like I'll scoot all the way inside. Like say you gonna send him on the go route, send him on the post route. I'm gonna see it. Like it's gonna take all day for you to get that ball up top, kind of thing. So stuff like that, or maybe say you have a fast throwing motion. I'm gonna come down, scoot up because maybe y'all just run a whole lot of tempo plays because you can get the ball off like that. So a throwing motion and a QB's tendencies, it plays a lot of roles in the game and how I line up, how I play in general.
Is there a game this season that you're most forward looking to getting after? You know, maybe a matchup wide receiver wise, or just a team that, you know, there's some animosity there, so a rivalry or anything like that?
Yes, sir. I'll actually say a lot of games. Next week we go down to Dallas. We play Dallas Skyline. I'll play my guy Elijah Barnes. Yeah, so that's gonna be nice. I can't wait to play them. Then I think it's week 8. We play Iowa Colony, and like they whole receiver core, it's a bunch of kids with Power 5 offers or Power 4 offers. So I can't wait to play them. And then Randall, Richmond Randall, that's a rivalry for us. They sent us home last year, week 1. So we coming back to get them this year. Them the 3 games for sure. I can't wait to play.
Oh, you'll be starting off the season hot there.
Yeah, I love the Skyline note. All right, hey Caleb, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. We appreciate you, and best of luck the rest of this season. And hope you tune in and see if Jonah Williams here is a future teammate of yours or not, bud.
Sure.
But hook 'em horns, man.
Thank you, Caleb.
Thanks, Caleb. Thank you, buddy. All right.
So I got another guest, guys. This is I covered this guy. This is how long I've been in the business. This is Donnie Baggs. Played linebacker. Played at Clear Springs, Texas A&M. But he trains a bunch of guys in the Houston area. Trains Jonah Williams. So I wanted to kind of get his thoughts before this ceremony on Jonah. What you've always seen from Jonah. You've been working with him, 4 or 5 years now?
About two to three.
2 to 3 years.
Yeah. Man, what is there to say, man? Kid is a hell of an athlete, man. Can stretch the field on offense, man. Can incredible range on the defensive side of the ball, covering from hash to sideline to hash. You know, hash to boundary. So he's just a hell of a football player, man. And he's going to be any team in the country that's going to get him. Well, we'll find out in the next couple minutes here. So they're going to be really excited to get him.
Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, hey, Donnie, when you watch, you've seen a lot of great players and played in college football. You've seen them. Who does Jonah maybe remind you of, or who do you think of when you see him?
Man, so like the obvious choice would be Kyle Hamilton, right? Because, you know, body type, build, size, everything, speed, playmaking ability. But I'm gonna go a little bit closer to home with a guy that I actually played with at A&M, by Armani Watts. And that dude, man, like when he was in the backfield, man, he was a ball hawk. He just had incredible range, man. He can get to the ball no matter where it was thrown on the field. And then he was able to come down in the box and deliver the ball. And so, you know, when I look at a lot of Jonah's tape and I watch his game, that's what he reminds me of. Because if the ball's in the air and he's near it, that kid gonna get it. He's gonna go out and get it. And his baseball background is very helpful with that. How he tracks the ball in the air and how he's able to go get it from different spots on the field. So when I think of his game, especially just like seeing Armani play and seeing him make plays back when I was at A&M, like I can just see the similarities in their game as far as just how they get to the ball in the backfield.
So, Donnie, I wanted to ask you. So, I was down here the first day of Galveston ball practice, and that's when Jonah, we broke the news. Just I happened to be here. It wasn't anything special. And Jonah said, "I'm graduating high school in December," and I was kind of taken aback because that means he made a football first decision.
Correct.
Did that surprise you at all since you're around him much, or when do you think he kind of made that decision?
Well, I got a group chat with like all my boys, man, and I kind of like just give them wisdom, just about the college game and what they're really getting into and how to go through certain things. And one thing that I've always told like every single one of the boys that I work with is that, man, the quicker that you can get on campus at your university, like the better it is for your development. So like you finish your high school football career, like the coaches at your high school, they love you, but they kick you out of the program, and then they kind of send you to the side because they're worried about the other kids in the program. So if they're going to do that, you might as well just jumpstart on your program, on your career and your future. I know Jerry probably knows this, but I was an early grad myself, fall of 2010, and enrolled early at Texas A&M the spring of 2011. And so I just remember how beneficial it was for me. And, learning the playbook and getting on the field a little bit earlier and just kind of getting over that, those certain things that you might be uncertain about going into college and just getting acclimated to your system and your schedule and things like that. So I'm ecstatic that he's going to graduate early because I think he's going to do great.
So look, I can't let Donnie get out of here. He's got to get out of here without asking the most important question. How jacked are you that the A&M Texas rivalry's back, man? You played in it.
Yeah, I'm pretty geeked up, man. Like I said, it's been a lot of banter going on. It's been a lot of banter going on, even with the kids that I work with, So like, got a couple lines on that game, man. So like, we'll have some fun with it.
All right, that's Donnie Baggs. Played at Clear Springs, Texas A&M. Played linebacker. Does a great job working with training a lot of really talented football players in the Houston area. Thanks, Donnie.
All right, yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Donnie.
All right, thank y'all.
You have a good one. Later, buddy.
People have been asking about the gooders. Here's the gooders.
I could not have gotten him to do a hook'em, could I?
No chance.
No chance.
No. He wants to get. He wants tickets. He wants tickets for games. No chance.
All right, hey guys, I got to tell you, we are sitting here about 20 minutes away from a decision from Jonah Williams, defensive back, Galveston Ball High School. We just talked to Donnie Baggs, linebacker trainer at the linebacker trainer in the Houston area. Has a number of different guys that he works with, also a defensive back coach as well, and just an all-around trainer. As you can see in the background there, Jerry's live at the event right now. The podium is down on the 50-yard line. That's where in about 20 minutes, a Jonah Williams will be there with his announcement, whether it may be the University of Texas, LSU, Texas A&M, Oregon, all of those schools involved at this point. CJ, what did you? We also heard earlier from Caleb Chester. What did you think of the Longhorn commitment out of Fort Bend Marshall? What did you think of Donnie Baggs' comment about Kyle Hamilton or Armani Watts? Hamilton, just an absolute stud in the NFL as well as in the college game. And he is that bigger profile kid, much like Jonah Williams is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his time at Notre Dame, right, he was, widely considered the best safety in all of college football at the time coming out into the NFL draft. And, he's done a hell of a job for the Ravens. I think he might have had one of the plays of the year very early on his senior season or junior season at Notre Dame is just ranging across the field to make an interception on the sideline in which he started on the opposite hash, a ball probably 35, 40 yards down the field. He made that entire trek over and made a play, kept his feet in bounds. And I liked what he said there. I liked what Donnie said about, kind of carrying over that baseball background, tracking the ball in the air, understanding trajectories and where that ball is going to come, knowing the pursuit angles when the ball is in the air. For a safety, that's very important. We've talked about it. It's one thing to have speed. It's one thing to have ball knowledge. But when you don't necessarily take the right routes or those angles, it's all for naught. So with Jonah, I don't think that's anything that you're going to have to worry about. Right. We've seen his highlights. We've seen how many pick sixes and plays on the ball that he's been able to have on plays he probably shouldn't be in a position to make. But because he understands those angles and he has that history as a center fielder and outfielder in the baseball world, he's able to make him look very easy. And I thought that was really interesting. I like that comparison, Bobby. If he's anything close to Kyle Hamilton for the Texas Longhorns or wherever he ends up, that's going to be a very, very talented kid who will hear his name called round one by the time that his NFL draft is right around the corner.
CJ, I'm sitting here thinking back of guys that I thought were really, really strong at the safety position for the University of Texas. Kenny Vaccaro, Caden Stearns was probably the most recent draft pick. Deshaun Elliott was that taller type guy. Michael Griffin, of course, off the national championship team, along with Michael Huff. Texas has such a great history at the safety position. Jonah Williams has a chance to join that legacy here at the University of Texas. We will find that answer out in the next 20 minutes or so. Jerry Hamilton is on site. Jerry, what's the situation look like? Are they starting to mill around and get ready to go here, or what's going on?
Yeah, they are. Joe, I don't know if you can see it. Jonah's now at the table. He just arrived, so he's here. So we're getting closer here in the next 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes. We'll be here, and he'll announce his decision. I can say this: a lot of burnt oranges showing up here for this announcement. So there's gonna be a lot of sad faces, including about 2,000 plus on this chat if it doesn't go Texas way.
Yeah, I would imagine that it would be. Jerry, you made it down there this afternoon. Do you talk to anybody beforehand, or are you just going to kind of wait it out and see what he has to say?
I'm waiting out to see what he has to say. I actually walked in because you know me, Bobby. I get the high school football games 2 hours early, and I actually walked in with his father. So we didn't really no talking about recruiting at all, nothing like that. The decision's here. I just told him thank you for pretty much raising an awesome kid, man. Because Jonah's he's been a lot of fun to cover. He's a guy that's really supportive of his teammates. Look, he was a kid that was recruited to go to IMG Academy a year ago. And he actually even went down there for a visit. And he decided that – I'm trying to get y'all a better view of the table. And he decided that he wanted to be true to his team, the kids he grew up with, his teammates at Galveston Ball, because he's been a 3-sport guy there. And he made the decision to not go to IMG but to stay at Galveston Ball. And I thought that was look, IMG is a wonderful place, and I get why guys go, but he made an amazing decision for a kid that could have gone to IMG to play football and baseball. He decided to stay with his high school teammates, and I've always had kind of a little extra respect for Jonah because of that, because most kids wouldn't have made that decision when they're recruited to IMG.
No, it's tough, right? Because he could also play baseball for IMG as well, is my guess.
Yes, and he was recruited to IMG to play both sports. So the fact that he took a visit down there and just said, "I'm staying at Galveston Ball," I thought that was really, really cool of him. And again, not a decision that a lot of kids would make, and I get why kids go there. It's an amazing place, but it was just really cool to see Jonah kind of say, I'm a multi-sport athlete here at G-Ball High. Which is where I'm at, and I want to be there for my teammates and with my teammates I grew up with.
Yeah, especially in today's world, right? You talk about the 7-on-7 circuit. You talk about how much media and publicity goes to high school games and everything that surrounds it with the camps and everything. IMG certainly is one that's always playing on ESPN. They're always playing on these nationally or streamed games that are all over television. To stay in Galveston with those kids, Jerry, as you were talking about, that's huge. That's great show of character in my eyes for Jonah. I've always had a great time chatting with him, of course, whether it be about baseball, whether it be about football, whether it just be about the drive or the traveling that he has for upcoming visits. I mean, he's got a great personality too. So I've been a big fan of his, of course, and now getting to see where he ends up, that'll be certainly very exciting. There it is. Jerry's giving us a good look of Jonah at the table. You see the hats there. Bobby, you got any guesses on the hat science going on right now?
I'm not a hat science guy because I gave that up a long time ago when I got double faked on one. Yeah, I'm not that guy for you to do that. A lot of people in here, obviously some guys with some knowledge about Galveston and their former players. Jerry, you and I followed that program for a long period of time back when Pat Culpepper was down there, and then by Nick Voris and Ron Holmes. A lot of different coaches through the years at Ball High, and a number of great players have walked through those doors. Casey Hammond talked about John Humphrey, the running back. They've had Kendall Pope. I mean, they've had Charles Alexander, Eric Hill, two LSU standouts as well.
By the way, John Humphrey's son, it would be a starting corner at Georgia this year, Julian Humphrey. It looks like he's going to earn a starting spot at Georgia's secondary this year, corner out of Clear Lake High School.
Jerry, was he a 10-2 kid?
Do what?
Was he a 10-2 kid in the 100-meter?
No, he wasn't as fast as his dad. I think he was more in that 10-6, 10-7 range. Maybe been a 200-meter guy. He kind of grew late. I think he's taller than his father is, but John, as Bobby can say, John Humphrey may be the best punt returner I've seen in the Houston area in high school football. But to echo what Bobby said, I mean, look, there were been so many great players come through here. You know, Jonah's father, Billy Williams, was a tremendous player on some of those teams in the 80s at Galveston Ball, went to the University of Houston, played football there. So obviously he's a judge here in Galveston now. But he was on some of those really good teams Bobby's referencing in the mid 80s at G-Ball High.
Patrick Bates is another one, a big safety out of Galveston Ball, played in the NFL, played for Texas A&M during their heyday in the 80s for the Aggies, I believe, maybe early 90s as well for him. Hey, by the way, Jerry, someone in the chat is saying, is asking if you're going to Guido's tonight. That is the restaurant in town. No, Jerry, you can get Guido's on me if Jonah Williams picks the Longhorns. How about that?
I will say this. So I spoke at the UT Texas X's Galveston group on Tuesday, and they gave me a big old pecan pie from Guido's. So I feel like I've had enough Guido's for the week. That's why I'm only showing a view from the chest up, okay? I had a lot of pecan pie from Guido's. The other place down here from me, Guido's Brick House Tavern, is awesome there on the seawall as well. So that's a favorite place of mine as well. And Nick's is where I spoke at the Texas X's Galveston, which is another good spot.
Hey, guys, while we're talking about legacy recruits, et cetera, guys that have ties to other programs, et cetera, Jesse Germany has a super chat. Is Texas looking at Caden Finley as a legacy recruit? I want to take this part of it first. Texas doesn't really look at legacy recruits. They either recruit you or they don't. They're not doing favors for former players when it comes to recruiting. They just don't do that. I mean, and I think what people need to understand is I think former Longhorn athletes understand when that happens because they've been through this process as well themselves. Caden Finley, however, is the guy that's good enough to make it on his own. Is that an accurate statement, Jerry?
Wait, say that again. Caden Finley, yeah, he's good. No, for sure. And the other thing I heard from a few college coaches this spring was there was some questions. Was he going to get big, taller like Jermichael and end up as a tight end prospect? Everything coming out of spring football at Aledo is he's a wide receiver recruit. And people think he will stick. The college coaches, several of them think he will stick at wide receiver. So Caden Finley, definitely a guy Texas has on the radar. Chris Jackson, Tashard Choice, and Jeff Banks, I believe, all went by Aledo during the spring evaluation period to see Caden Finley and all the other kids at Aledo. So very much on the radar.
Yeah, he made a surprise late visit in the spring period earlier this offseason, of course, trying to sneak in under the before that dead period came on and was enacted there. But for him to get on campus there right after spring ball, I mean, it shows the interest. I know it was kept pretty quiet. It was right at the very end there. But he doesn't do a whole lot of the publicity tours and stuff like that. That's a kid that will be all about football as well. But the interest is there for Texas. And, of course, right now, Jerry, I've heard great things about him in terms of his route running ability. And his speed has been one of those questions as well. He's got enough of it to play in a Sarkisian offense.
Hey, guys, I'm going to turn the volume down and walk over by Jonah so y'all can kind of see the table set up.
Sounds good, buddy. We'll definitely watch out. Hey, by the way, CJ, did you get a chance? We got some time here before Jonah Williams announces around 6:30 this afternoon. Did you get a chance to watch the Florida State Georgia Tech game today?
I sure did, Bobby. And let me tell you, it was a total tease of college football coming back, getting all excited for a good football game, and I had to watch that. Oh my goodness!
I think that last second, if you didn't catch it, guys, last second field goal for Georgia Tech to win over Florida State. The Seminoles, after a big season a year ago, they graduated a lot, including 2 big-time players on defense, in Brandon Fisk and Jared Verse, as well as their quarterback Jordan Leary. They got upset by Haynes King and the mighty Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech, excuse me. And that was a big one today that kicked off college football in Dublin, Ireland. I won't understand why we have to go all the way across an ocean to get things kicked off. Why they can't just get it done here, but so be it. Jerry,
how about Nick Saban's first college game day being in Dublin, Ireland, sitting next to Pat McAfee? That's the way it should be.
In a pub, having a few cold ones, a few tall boys with McAfee. I'm sure that's exactly what he envisioned whenever he signed up for this studio gig, right?
I have a feeling Nick Saban was at a couple of golf courses in Ireland, knowing him, as he should be. By the way, we've had some questions in here. Somebody asked about Michael Terry. CJ and myself both think Texas is in a good spot for Michael Terry. Nebraska, Oregon, giving chase there. September, early October decision, subject to change. But look, we're already August 24th, so unless something drastic happens, it's going into September, probably midway through his senior season as of right now. We still feel good about that one. People are asking, I got my gooders, but man, I just don't, I don't know. I'll pop them on from time to time. I got the gooders. So I feel like I missed two. I'm not a real sunglass wearer. Like when I play golf, I don't wear sunglasses. So when I'm in an event like this, for whatever reason, I don't wear them. I want to see what's going on in the stands. I'm looking for Casey Hampton, because if Casey Hampton's here, y'all are going to see me run faster than I've ever ran before to get him on the show.
We're going to see a pulled hammy on that 30-yard line, Jerry. You better.
Yeah, I'm going to need help holding up the camera.
Here's a question from a Boring Math Channel. Over under 2 games, UT games will have helmet communications issues, which may result in neither team being able to use their helmet comms. Will someone self-sabotage? Maybe A&M. Now, I don't want to say anything about the Aggies, but I know for a fact there have been teams that have killed communications with the headsets from upstairs before on purpose. I'm not saying it's A&M at all, but that has absolutely happened back in the day. And as long as Bill Belichick is alive, it will probably happen again.
By the way, Bobby was driving, so he didn't see the FSU.
No, I did.
But Haynes King, you could tell there were some issues with the headset communication, because he was covering up his ear holes after every play when the headset communication was on.
That's just how loud the Irish get, Jerry.
Yes, yes, that's a good point. They thought they cheered like a soccer game was breaking out.
It's time to set up the commitment now and talk a little bit more about Jonah Williams, guys. He announces here in the next 7 to 10 minutes. He is one of the nation's top overall players, top 20 by most outlets, according to some. Guys, district MVP as a sophomore. He goes 6'3.5", 205 pounds. As a junior, he had 20 receptions for 474 yards and 8 TDs. That's almost 24 yards a pop on 20 receptions. He had 2 rushes for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 58 tackles as a defensive back, 4 interceptions, 3 of which he took back for touchdowns. He also took 3 back for touchdowns as a sophomore and was the district MVP. He is a special player. Jerry, earlier you and CJ were talking a little bit about Michael Terry. There's no question in my mind, Michael Terry and Jonah Williams are the 2 best plus-sized athletes in the state of Texas, and maybe plus-sized athletes in the country. at this point. You might want to add somebody like a Nick Townsend in there a little bit too.
Hey guys, I got a special guest here. Coach Ben Knight, Galveston Ball head coach, here with me. He's seen Jonah grow up, seen Jonah as a player. Kind of talk about Jonah as a player from your eyes, the head coach at Galveston Ball.
Well, when I first met Jonah, he was a little 8th grader as a ball boy running around eating nachos and candy on the sidelines. I'm trying to figure out where he is, where our game balls are. But from that point to the time he started his own varsity as a freshman to what he is now, it's just been an amazing transformation, watch him mature and everything. So I'm glad to be a part of that. But tell you what, for him, the athletic ability part is an obvious deal. I've coached a lot of good athletes, a lot made the pros, but he may have the highest football IQ of any great athlete that I've been around. Now, those two things don't always match up. There's not always a combination of football IQ and great athleticism, and that's what makes him more special than anything. And he's raised right. He's a great kid from his family, so I'm real proud for him as far as this opportunity goes. And this is the first time for all of us being able to see something like this happen as far as NIL and all that. So I'm excited for him.
Coach Bennett's got to get back from the announcement. I just want to give him a second to tell everybody about Jonah as a player. So thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
see you a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good stuff there, Jerry. Appreciate you bringing him in to the live stream very, very much. Football IQ.
Yeah.
We talked about that with Caleb Chester earlier as well. Yeah. He clearly has that. The defensive back out of Fort Bend Marshall that joined us at the top of the show. That might be something that the Longhorns coaching staff is trying to go for right now as a whole. Not only do they want the elite athletes, they want the guys that understand what football is really all about as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the second time that we've heard that from folks that are attending, obviously, his trainer, Donnie Baggs. I mean, we heard it from his head coach right there, Bobby. The IQ, so important in the secondary. You can have all the track times, all the athleticism, but it might not mean anything if you can't diagnose routes, you can't understand what the kind of situation is at play, right, with the sticks, down and distance, whatever the concepts. To hear that continually be a theme for Jonah Williams, I think you get a real understanding of how intelligent he is on the field. Even if he's not a guy with the green dot, with the helmet communications, he's going to be up to speed with everything going on situationally on the field. That's huge. That's huge wherever he ends up. If it ends up at Texas, that's a big time addition to that secondary moving forward.
I've got to ask you guys, if you think about it, this is the second.
I want to talk about Jonah as a baseball player. Okay, all
right. This is the second consecutive day Texas might get a commitment from a national.
Hey, we got one more. We got one more guest. Head baseball coach at Galveston Ball. I wanted him to talk about Jonah as a baseball prospect a little bit before he announces his decision. Coach, Jonah as a baseball prospect, kind of for those that haven't seen him play, where is he at? What is he? Obviously, turn down the MLB draft's a big deal for him.
Well, he's super fast, super powerful. He's a real good center fielder, real good defender, real good at play. He's really good on the mound. He's pitches at 91 to 93, top 94 this summer. So we're talking about exceptional athlete, and he's just not a tools out guy. He's a really smart baseball player. He's been to 1 million of his brother's baseball games, so he understands the sport and loves the sport. So he's a prospect for sure.
Were you surprised he made the early graduate from December decision and kind of bypassing the MLB draft?
I do. I am surprised that he's planning to do that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Because, and I don't know if that's a for sure thing yet, but I'm surprised that he's leaning in that direction.
Because I hate to ask the question because Coach loses his best player.
Yeah, it loses our district MVP.
District MVP in baseball. But what do you think his ceiling is as a baseball player?
Well, his brother played in the big leagues.
Yep.
For parts of 3 seasons, with a little bit with the White Sox and a lot with the Phillies, and he affects the game just as much as Nick. And Nick was a second-round pick, so he's pretty darn good.
Well,
Coach, I got a quick question for you.
They're about to start, CJ. We got to roll, but we hope that maybe we'll talk to him again if this decision changes.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had to ask a question. I didn't want to, but I had to ask. We're about to get going here, by the way.
Jerry, you're welcome to just place the laptop to where the podium can be seen, and we'll come to you and go from there. Is that work for you, bud?
Yeah, I'm going to turn my volume down, though, so nobody can hear everybody talking.
Okay, sounds good, man. It's CJ. We're looking at it right now, and I talked about. I was talking about Nick Brooks a second ago and what he's going through, and the fact that he just committed to Texas. Now Texas has a chance to potentially add Jonah Williams here today. That would push Texas up to 18 commitments overall on the campaign. What are you thinking about this late summer run? Jamie French announces on Friday. That's the wide receiver out of Jacksonville, Mandarin High School in Florida. That would put them potentially at 19 if they get Jonah here tonight as well. What do you think overall of Texas recruiting efforts? It's kind of been a little bit of a roller coaster, but I think it's in the right direction right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, of course, and I think they're doing so in a very important time of the calendar, right? You're about to have a lot of opportunity on the field to make some headlines, but more so than that, you're going to have a great opportunity to get a lot of 2026s and 2027s on campus for games, getting to see a Jonah, a potential Jonah Williams on campus, a potential Jamie French, all these guys that you're looking at right now as 5-star caliber guys. Should they end up back on campus wearing the Texas gear, now you're looking at them saying, okay, I see why these guys, all these 5-star national prospects are choosing Texas. And that's very important, obviously, for a number of reasons, but more so than anything, that they're in the class, and then they'll become recruiters for Texas moving forward as well.
I got to say this is a perfect shot of what we're looking at live. Jerry Hamilton on scene right now. Jonah Williams, top 20 player in the country out of Galveston Ball High School, expected to announce his decision tonight between the Longhorns, Texas A&M, LSU, Oregon. At one point, CJ, his recruitment has kind of been a number of different places. People at one point predicted him going to Oklahoma. Then another guy put him in to going to Texas A&M. Oregon has been one prediction from folks as well. Talk a little bit about how this recruitment has kind of been a number of different ways and taken some twists and turns throughout.
Yeah, I kind of likened it to, Bobby, those fantasy punishments where you got to go make the advent calendar and you got a theme for each month, right? No one ever wants to do it, but it has that theme for each month. Well, for Jonah Williams and his recruitment, it kind of felt like his recruitment kind of followed that calendar of each month having a new theme, whether it be in Oklahoma or a Texas A&M or an Oregon or an LSU. And Texas, hadn't ever, at least to potentially now, had their moment on that calendar. They hadn't had their month atop of Jonah Williams's recruitment. And especially not getting that official visit in June, you started thinking around, okay, maybe this Jonah Williams and Texas marriage isn't going to happen. Maybe this isn't what you're expecting to be a large part of this recruitment. And that's, a bit head scratching. Of course, it felt like as well, going back to a year ago around this time, each time that he made it to campus, it was a surprise, right? He's rumored to make it in, but we'll see. And each time he did make it in, it's like, oh, this is big.
Of a decision it is. So we can only imagine this process and what it's been like for you and your family to have a nationwide options. But we are very proud of how you've handled yourself, proud of the way you've represented your family and the island. You're about to be another in a long line of very proud Ball High graduates who's taking this next step in their career.
That sounds like that's the baseball coach at Ball High.
You will always wear the name Williams on your back, and you will always wear it Ball High, and you'll always represent Galveston Island. So thank you. We're very proud of you. And I'm next going to pass this off to his baseball coach, Coach Farrell.
I guess I was wrong. That was not that. Now this is the baseball coach.
Thank y'all. When I was
chance for him to do some recruiting, Bobby. Come play one more season with me.
Start working. We had a really talented center fielder named Nick Williams. Hi, Nick. And he had two little brothers named Seth and Jonah. Jonah used to come up and say he was 6, but he was really 4 years old. But he was so nice he would come back and say, "Hey, I'm really sick." And it always made me like him. Anytime I saw Seth and Jonah at the baseball field, they brought a smile. They brought a smile to our face. Everybody made everybody happy, even though they would hit a tennis ball on the field and we have to call timeout and throw the tennis ball back. But Jonah, we're looking forward to this decision. These people don't want to hear me talk anymore. So good luck to you. But before I hand it off to Coach Benight, hey, let's give a round of applause for Billy and Annie, maybe the two best parents ever for girls. Thank you, Billy. Who's Coach Benight?
Thank you. When I got here in 2020, I first met Jonah. He was eating nachos and candy on the sidelines, being the ball boys in 8th grade, while Seth was the quarterback. I'm chasing him around, trying to figure out where the balls are for the next play. So I've had the pleasure of watching him grow up and mature, and the ultimate pleasure of getting to coach him as a freshman on varsity and mature into the player he is today. So it's been a pleasure for me. And Jonah, I know you're going to make a great decision. You got a bunch of fine choices right there, fine schools. I know for me, it's going to be a pleasure to be able to watch him not only during the fall playing football, but on TV watching him in baseball in the spring. And I guess we'll find out which network we got to tune into here in a little bit watching. So, Jonah, good luck to you. I love you, bud, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to coach you. And here's Dad.
Hey, thank you. I'm gonna lead. We have a group or team here called the Hurricanes, and that's where all my sons came up and played before they got to high school, middle school. And I'm gonna let his coach speak briefly. This is Coach Terry Pettaway. You all probably know him. He's pretty much Mike Evans' mentor dad.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Jonah and his family, a wonderful family, tight-knit family, and just as well as myself, this family has done a lot for this community. I first observed Jonah when he was a kid, when Nick, his brother, was playing with my youngest son, playing basketball, and Jonah would be in the stand and he wouldn't sit still. He was all over the place. And I always remember Andy, his mother, chasing him all over the place. And I knew he was going to be something special then. And coaching him was a joy. He could just do anything. And one of the coaches that came to me and he asked me, he said, "Do you think Jonah will be the next Mike Evans?" And I told him no. I said, he's going to be the first Jonah Williams.
Thank you all very much. You know, me and my family, we thank God for everything and bless his name. Me and my family are very appreciative to all who have attended this event this evening. We are happy and appreciative to Pastor Soel, the Galveston Independent School District, the board, administrators, teachers, coaches, who have all played a part in Jonah's journey thus far. The tough love you have given him, along with the education, is second to none. I do see some of his teachers out there, and we have some of his trainers over here too, Donnie Baggs and Mr. Robinson, Brandon Robinson. We thank the universities, most of all, and the staffs that showed an interest in Jonah and the awesome hospitality when we were there. As most of you are aware, we are very proud of Jonah, as we are of all our sons. Jonah has performed well and must in our house. You must thank God every day, and you must help your neighbor. We are very thankful for the journey so far, more so than the result. Now, I see why Jonah made that very mature decision and told me he wanted to go back to Galveston and play with his friends in front of his community rather than go to the prestigious IMG Academy. God has blessed us with kids and grandkids. He has taken some away, and He's blessed us with two more. And Jonah is one of the two. So hang in there, parents. You know, child, when he was born, Jonah almost didn't make it. He was born not breathing. It felt like forever before he would take his first breath. You know, I just looked up to God and I said, hey, just let your will be done. Jonah did make it eventually, and for years, he didn't talk, and he walked funny, and he ran funny. And my oldest sons every day would say, hey, why does he run so funny? Why does he look funny when he go outside? You know, for all of those who think Jonah woke up one day and started tackling and running touchdowns, that didn't happen. It took time and work, and these coaches back here, along with his high school coaches, we spent time to help Jonah get where he is. You know, I do remember so vividly when I would go out in the fields with my oldest sons, and we would be out half the day. And once I returned, my wife would look at me, she would get me outside and say, hey, they're inside waiting for you. I would walk in the house and see two little boys carrying plastic gloves, a bat, and a football along with the basketball. They had it all planned. Seth would say, Dad, first we would get some brown balls, then you would pitch to us, and then we would throw the football. And then we would shoot some shots. And Jonah would be there saying, yeah, Dad, let's go get some brown balls and throw the football. Again, we're very proud of Jonah and look forward to his next challenge. Now, please give your attention to the scoreboard.
Looks like they're showing his highlights here as we're watching the announcement ceremony of Jonah Williams, defensive back out of Galveston Ball High School, one of the top 20 prospects in the country. Here in Hamilton, live.
To kind of have that validation.
As well as CJ Vogel here with me, as we'll continue to listen in here as moments away. Jonah Williams expected to make the decision.
No. There is a new apex predator in high school football. Over the past couple of years, we have seen some of the most talented come out of high school and immediately make an impact for their college teams. And there's a new number one in the country who's looking to establish himself as a dominant force in the college ranks. And that is none other than 6'3", 203-pound, five-star coming out of Ball High School in Galveston, Texas, Jonah Williams.
All battles back. Jonah Williams at bat, base hit to right field.
Fourth, Jonah Williams is one of the premier athletes in the country for the class of 2025.
All right, so I got Jonah Williams. I got 6'3" and 200 pounds in high school. Okay, I was not expecting the speed that this kid's got. Oh no! Usually when I'm thinking of a guy that's just going to go out there and just absolutely crack everybody on the field. I wasn't expecting to see a speedster out here. This kid is speedy. And you can seriously tell, like, this kid has got some wheels.
Back when I took my ACCs, back when I took a little ABD, why? But I didn't have no ABDs.
playing a highlight video right now of Jonah Williams at his time at Galveston Ball, both on the football field and on the baseball diamond. Jerry Hamilton there for On Texas Football. Vogel, also with us as well. We're waiting the decision and announcement of Jonah Williams. Should be coming any moment here. We've already heard his football coach, his baseball coach. His father has the microphone right now, but they're playing a highlight video. Next, we expect Jonah to make the decision between Texas A&M, LSU, as well as the University of Oregon. We will see which way this direction goes.
Thank you. Oh, get off me. Nah, he's legitimately an athlete out here. Like he legitimately is probably running somewhere like the high 4.5, mid to high 4.5. At 200 plus pounds is very impressive. And pick up the flat, thank you. And this guy's gonna have a bunch of 99-yard pick sixes on his highlight tape. This kid is speedy, outruns everybody, and take off. As soon as he gets into a straight line, he is gone. So Jonah Williams is looking like a true star out there. To me, with the size and frame that he has, but then also the athleticism that he carries, he's going to be that perfect safety or hybrid, that nickel position. Because I honestly believe whichever school ends up landing him is going to be getting a absolute, possibly even a day one starter. Like, I can see Jonah Williams being a day one starter for whatever program he goes to. He's got some serious talent out there. All right. Yeah. Okay. We will now get ready to go live on 3 on the YouTube channel. And the commitment show will begin. All right, Jonah, let's start the countdown right now.
It looks like we might be getting pretty close here, Bobby.
There's a 2-minute countdown.
Maybe not.
2 minutes we've got here as they get ready for the official production, I guess, for Jonah Williams and his pledge. We are waiting to see exactly what happens here. Longhorns, CJ, have, as we talked about, one defensive back in the class right now, Caleb Chester. Jonah Williams make 2 if he were to select the Longhorns today. Of course, we're also monitoring other players right now. Aiden Anding, a young man out of Ruston, Louisiana, earlier today, committed to LSU. He is the final defensive back we know of right now that Texas has an offer out to is Jonah Williams. We will see what happens with his pledge. Also waiting on Jamie French, wide receiver out of Jacksonville, Florida. That should come this Friday. Texas continues to be a team to watch in that recruitment. Beyond that, we talked about Michael Terry, a young man out of San Antonio Alamo Heights High School, a wide receiver, running back. He had a great run this on Thursday for a touchdown in a scrimmage. He and Jonah Williams are these 2 plus-sized athletes that are just tremendous prospects overall here. As we're waiting to see exactly what Jonah Williams decides. Good luck to this young man in his decision, whatever it may be. But the Longhorns, Texas A&M, LSU, and Oregon appear to be the finalists.
Here we go. Welcome into the On 3 studios. Welcome. We are live here at Nashville, Tennessee. Take a seat. Get comfortable. You're here for a major live commitment. I'm excited about the big one we got today. A top 10 player in the country from the state of Texas will be making his decision right here, just a couple minutes away. But before we get into it, hit subscribe. Make sure you're locked into the best recruiting channel on all of YouTube. All right, here we hear for it. Williams, of course. He's a 5-star prospect, number 10 rated player overall from Galveston, Texas, and he's got a ton of offers. Though he's narrowed that list down to just 5 schools. Oregon, LSU, Texas, Texas A&M, and USC are finalists. After getting on the road this spring and summer, Williams took his visits. He's ready to decide. Excited to host this one. Let's put on the film. All right, here you see it. Williams is the definition of a two-sport star. He dominates on the diamond and the gridiron. He's a jumbo safety prospect with size, athleticism, and playmaking instincts. Measures in at just over 6'3", 206. On 3 views, Williams is a true 3-phase playmaker on Friday nights, lining up at safety, wide receiver, and punt returner. But on the next level, he projects as an elite safety, the ability to make an impact early in his career. That's why it's easy to see why Jonah Williams is so coveted. All right, let's take a look at the social handles. Remember, Jonah is just about to start his career, so give him a follow right now. There you see it. Hit follow. There's some social handles. All right. Out in Galveston, Texas, Jonah Williams. He's there. He's looking ready. Jonah, it's a big day.
I'm feeling great.
All right. You see your top schools: Oregon, LSU, Texas, Texas A&M, and USC. What was it about these schools that made your final cut?
Just the relationship and the bonds I created on my visits to these schools, and that just made my decision.
Right. Well, Jonah, the floor is yours. Time is now. Say your thank yous and let us know when you're committed to college.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I just want to thank God for giving me the blessings each and every day with the ability to play the sports I love. I want to give a big thanks to all the coaches who consider me to be a part of their program. Also, thanks to my parents for doing everything they can to help me achieve my dreams and aspirations. A huge shout out to all the friends and family that made this event. Everyone who plays the game of football tries to make their unique imprint on the culture, and we can make a difference in the community. That's a powerful force to behold. And with that being said, 3 to 4 years, take talents too.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's boom. Jonah Williams, defensive back, commits to the University of Texas. Big pickup for the University of Texas here. Texas adding a top 10, top 20 player in the state of Texas, or in the country, excuse me. Jerry Hamilton is live there recording this for us. Jerry, I want to get you on here if you get a chance, if you don't mind, and give us your take on this. CJ, until we get Jerry, what are your thoughts on the big commitment here from Jonah Williams?
Great.
Well, a few things, right? This is obviously a massive commitment for the Texas Longhorns. A true 5-star prospect, dual sport guy. Again, this is the 9th highest rated prospect to commit to Texas in the composite rankings era. How about that? That's a top 10 prospect that just joined the Texas class 2025. Also the highest rated defensive back ever to commit to Texas at 99.57 in his composite rating. Talk about a little bit about his potential, his ceiling, overall prospect. Heck of a get for Steve Sarkisian and his staff, who didn't have a June official visit, had to combat that. Did a great job getting him on cue for the pool bash, and now in the 2025 class. Gary, great job giving us the view there. Felt like we were all front row seats for the announcement. Give us your thoughts and your take on the commitment of Jonah Williams to Texas.
A couple things. You guys don't leave us yet. I'm hoping to get Jonah on here in a second to talk to you guys, all the Texas fans on there. There's over 10,000 people on here. But no, look, I thought it was awesome what his dad said. Now understand why Jonah wanted to be here in front of his friends and family. This is not a Friday night football game, guys. This isn't even a football scrimmage. There's about 400, 500, 600 people here to watch Jonah Williams commit on a Saturday evening at 6:30 in Galveston, Texas. This is the Williams family. They're part of this community here. You saw his brother Nick, who was drafted in the sandwich selection. And this is one thing I hadn't said, but I'll say it now. Nick lives in Austin now with his significant other when he's not playing baseball professionally. So he has a family member in Austin. And that's something that we didn't really talk about and broadcast that much, but I think it was a key part of that recruitment as well to have family in Austin. Obviously, his brother wanted to go to Texas, committed to Texas. He ended up signing with A&M because Texas knew he was probably going to go pro in baseball. He has a middle brother, Seth, that's going to be a sophomore baseball player at Galveston College. But the one thing I continue to say, and sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong in this business, right? But being in Friendswood and being around this recruitment, this family a lot, I always said, will he be the first kid or person in the family to leave the state of Texas for college? Because nobody else had. And you know what? He didn't. So it's a big thing for the University of Texas, one of the best athletes in the country. And that decision to graduate from high school in December and go play spring football and baseball at Texas, that's a big one now because he's taking himself out of the MLB draft. And what goes along with that is you don't play your spring of high school baseball. You're talking about a guy that could be a top 3-round pick in the draft. He could vault himself into contention to be a first rounder. He's that level athlete. So that's out there for now in MLB. This is a kid that made a football decision and he loves football. And that was very important part of this to me when I was down here 2 weeks ago and he said graduating in December. I was almost taken aback. I didn't expect to hear it, but unbelievable kid, great family. We talk about culture fits all the time. This dude right here, I'm hoping to get him on. He's a culture fit at Texas now.
Jerry, thank you for bringing that to us live. The announcement is in. Jonah Williams commits to the University of Texas. Williams, again, I want to give you all these stats because I just think they're so impressive. 2-time district MVP, first of all, not a bad district to be district MVP of twice. 6'3.5", 205 pounds. Last year, 58 tackles, 4 interceptions, 3 of which were returned for TDs. Then he also turned around and played some offense, 20 catches, 474 yards, 8 touchdowns. He had 2 rushes for 144 yards. 2 touchdowns there. So very, very impressive stuff. I think Jerry now has the young man with us here.
This is Seth. This is Jonah's older brother. Plays baseball at Galveston College, played quarterback here. For those that haven't seen Jonah, and there are not many of them, there's 10,000 people out here. Tell us about Jonah.
Jonah's just a kid who puts in work and sees the fruits of his labor all the time, always giving God the glory, always got a smile on his face, grinding every day. You're never going to have to worry about him working because he's always trying to be the best. And just a hardworking player. He's able to listen at all times and follow instructions to the T and to the smallest detail possible. It's just a hard worker, and it always shows.
So when I was down here 2 weeks ago, I was surprised he said, I'm graduating in December and I'm playing college football and kind of bypassing the MLB draft. Did that surprise you? When did you know? You're a big bro, so you knew before anybody else.
I actually didn't know where he was going, but I knew that he was going to pass the MLB draft.
Were you surprised?
No, I wasn't. He loves football. He loves both sports, so he wants to try to pursue them at the highest pace possible until he can't do it anymore.
So tell us about talk about yourself as a baseball coming off an injury, right?
Sir.
Second year at Galveston College. Where can all the Texas fans watch you this year? What position will we be playing?
Well, right now I'm a utility, but I'll probably start in center field this year because we lost our center field at Texas Tech. Great player, Kyler Thompson.
All right, that's Seth Williams, older brother of Jonah Williams. Thanks, Seth, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Whole family's got the athletic genes, that's for sure. Man, what a cool family to be there and cover them all.
I got to get Nick on here. Yeah, we're not done yet. All right, this is on Texas Football YouTube channel. All right, this is Nick Williams, older brother of Jonah Williams. All right, so you've seen little bro grow up. When did you know the type of level of prospect he was going to end up being?
Honestly, he was growing really fast, and I thought he was slow at first, so I didn't know how fast he was going to be. I'm not going to lie, but he was even since he was real little, he would shoulder me. I'm like, this kid's definitely gonna be a football player. I know he plays baseball too, but I was like, I'm pushing too for him in football. But man, he was just aggressive when we were kids, kind of trying to stick his chest out against me. And I was always bigger, so I was like, oh yeah, this kid's gonna be a freak.
So you're once a Texas baseball commitment. What led you to that decision initially, and how did Jonah ask any input from you during this process?
I just told him, look, wherever you go, I'll be happy. I live in Austin,
yep.
So of course I would love to have him in my backyard. But I don't know, just Texas for me. I didn't want to pitch, and I had Mike Evans there too, and he was like, "Come on, bro, why don't you just come to A&M?" And he was there already. I didn't know anyone at Texas. All my buddies on my select team, the Banditos, were all pretty much committed to Texas. So at that time, it was different. I would say, different coaches, different things like that. But you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, do you think the hiring of Jim Schlossnagle as head coach of the University of Texas for baseball had any impact on Jonah's decision?
That's a good question. I didn't ask him too much on the baseball side. Honestly, I didn't really ask him a whole lot on the football either. I just wanted to tell him, I just wanted to be easy on him. I didn't want to push him any direction. I did a little reading. I'm sure he was doing a lot of reading, and I just wanted him to go where he thought was best fit. I could give him my intake where like Texas or SC, wherever, Wisconsin, whoever was out there. So it was just like, I just told him, what do you like? Compare and contrast, positives, negatives, and just, just break it down. But I told him, wherever you go, I'll be happy. And that with that baseball coach, I think that did help as well. He's a great coach, and you can't go wrong with that coaching staff. Both sides is really great coaching staff, really smart guys, really professional guys, and I fully trust them, with my brother under their leadership and guidance.
All right, that's Nick Williams, older brother of Jonah Williams. He keeps turning his head. It's his little ones running around. We're going to let him get back to that. Thanks very much, Nick.
Thank you. Have a good time, guys.
Thanks, Nick. Be good, buddy. Is he still in the Phillies organization, or where's he at nowadays?
He's been playing professionally in Mexico.
Oh, interesting.
I'm about to try to get Jonah on for us, so give me a couple of minutes here, guys.
You're doing a heck of a job, Jerry. Thank you very much. I mean,
we're finishing up the photo shoot portion of this. Then I'm going to try to get Jonah.
Bobby, let me get your thoughts on Jonah trying to up his brothers, right? He's the younger one. He's got two older ones, and to walk in there and just kind of give it a nice little shoulder to a couple of his older brothers when he was growing up. I mean, don't have to worry about physicality. I think that's for sure with Jonah.
No, you don't. And I think that, I'm one of those guys that the film doesn't lie very often. And Jonah Williams' film's outstanding. It truly is. And I'll also say this. The district MVP of any district is big for me because it's voted on by every coach in that district. And for him to be a district MVP down there when he was a sophomore, it just means a hell of a lot to me. Here he is, Jonah Williams, man of the moment. Jonah Williams, congratulations and hook 'em, bud.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, Jonah, we got to ask you, why the Longhorns? I like that lid. I'm a big hat aficionado myself. Love it. But why the Longhorns today, man?
Just the relationships that I built with the coaches and just the life after football part. You can't really give up an opportunity like that when you already started your legacy in Texas. So you just might as well just finish through with it.
Jonah, going through the entire recruiting cycle, it felt like maybe there was a little bit of a roller coaster with Texas. Maybe they weren't always a top of the list for you. I know Oklahoma, A&M, Oregon, LSU, a lot of schools had what felt like some momentum for you. When did Texas really start to become maybe the team for you? And, not having that official visit to Texas in June, was it kind of a late, kind of switch there for you?
Yeah, it was kind of a late switch on my last visit. Just everything felt like home. Everything felt right. So just pulled the trigger.
How was that last visit? I know we didn't get to talk to you a whole lot right after, but that pool bash, obviously Michael Terry was on campus, a couple commits. Nick Townsend was there as well. Did you feel like that whole staff was recruiting you pretty heavily, or was it, an individual coach that maybe stood out to you right away?
Most definitely. And Coach Gideon definitely stood out because he played a lot his freshman year. And no better coach to develop me to try to do the same thing. So,
hey, Jonah, you listened that you mentioned Blake Gideon, the defensive back coach, University of Texas, and the second safety coach played at Texas as well. You've got guys like you have your choice of schools. You really do. You can go just about anywhere you wanted to. You decide to stay closer to home. Your brother lives in Austin. That's got to be a bonus as well. What are your plans once you get on the 40 acres? Are you going to try to play a little baseball? Are you going to play football only? What are your overall plans, and what are your thoughts there?
To get on the diamond early and start playing baseball, and then when the spring's over, start football season. Get ready to win the Natty.
There you go. Have they talked to you at all, Jonah, about what free safety, strong safety, either safety in particular? Which one, buddy?
Just either one. Just the more I learn, the quicker I learn, the more positions I can play. So,
is there a particular player that you try to style your game after, or somebody you've looked up to and say, "Hey, I want to be like that dude"?
Kyle Hamilton.
Got it.
Good deal.
All right, Jerry, you have a question for Jonah?
No, he doesn't have to take it easy on my friends with Mustangs this year, so we're all good.
Jonah, thank you so much, my man. Tell everybody out there, hook them for us. If you
yes, sir. We'll do. Thank y'all.
Hook them, man. There we go. Good stuff. Congratulations to Jonah Williams. Jerry, good stuff for being out there today and being on site. CJ Vogel also joining us. Matt has been behind the scenes, our producer. We appreciate him very much as well. That's going to do it. We're going to wrap it up here from the Galveston County District Corville Stadium. Jerry Hamilton on site for us. Jerry, you have any closing thoughts for us before we get going?
I'm still looking for Casey Hampton. I don't see him. I was hoping Case was going to be here, but so I'll just close with the Gooders on and say congrats to all the Texas fans out there. Hell of a player, better kid, man. Great family.
And tip of the cap to you, Jerry, for the coverage. That was tremendous today.
Good stuff. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. Y'all, you guys have a good Saturday night. The Longhorns are happy tonight. 18 commitments now. Nick Brooks yesterday, followed by blue chip safety Jonah Williams tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. We got a bunch of stuff going on. We got more news and notes coming. Texas had a walkthrough scrimmage today. And I shouldn't say scrimmage. It was actually a game simulation, all 4 quarters. They were there 2 hours ahead of time, all of that kind of stuff. For Jerry Hamilton, I'm Bobby Burton and CJ Vogel as well. And thanks to all the guests Jerry brought in, Caleb Chester that led us off the whole night. Y'all take care and have a good night. Hook 'em.